In Africa's wild heart, one animal is feared above all, not the lion, but the hippopotamus. Despite their comical looks, hippos are blamed for thousands of human deaths each year, earning them the title of Africa's most dangerous large land animal. But is this reputation deserved, or is there more to the story? Throughout history, hippos have been both revered and feared. Ancient African cultures often depicted hippos in their art, symbolizing both fertility and chaos. Local myths tell of hippos as guardians of the rivers, creatures of immense power and unpredictability. Scientific observations reveal that hippos are highly territorial and can be extremely aggressive when provoked, yet they also display complex social behaviors and strong familial bonds. To understand the real hippo, we must look past the numbers and into the lives of these river giants. On the Zambezi River in Mozambique, a serene and picturesque landscape hides a growing tension beneath its tranquil surface. The presence of a so-called rogue hippo has sparked concern along these banks, but what exactly defines a rogue hippo? In wildlife studies, a rogue animal is one that displays unusually aggressive or unpredictable behavior, often toward other species or even its own kind. Case studies from across Africa reveal that hippos can become aggressive for a variety of reasons. Some are injured or displaced from their pods, while others may be older bulls forced out by younger rivals. These individuals often display heightened territoriality and may attack anything they perceive as a threat. Ecological factors also play a crucial role. During the dry season, shrinking water sources force hippos into closer proximity, increasing competition and stress. Limited resources can trigger defensive or even preemptive aggression as hippos strive to secure their territory and access to water. Animal psychology suggests that what appears to be aggression may sometimes be a defensive response. Hippos are highly sensitive to disturbances and may react with force if they feel cornered or threatened, especially if they have young nearby or have recently experienced conflict. In one documented case, a hippo separated from its pod after a territorial fight began attacking boats that entered its new territory. Researchers observed that the animal's aggression was most intense when it was alone, suggesting that isolation and stress can amplify defensive instincts. The complex relationship between hippos and their environment means that so-called rogue behavior is rarely simple. It is shaped by a web of ecological pressures, social dynamics, and individual experiences. To truly understand a rogue hippo, one must look beyond the surface. Each case is a puzzle of animal psychology, environmental stress, and survival instincts. Only by piecing together these elements can we separate myth from reality and find solutions that respect both the safety of all species and the natural behavior of these remarkable animals. To truly understand the ever-present tension along these rivers, observe the delicate balance between life and danger that unfolds each day. The river, a source of sustenance, is also a domain fiercely guarded by its most formidable inhabitants. In these waters, a single misstep can provoke a powerful response, hippos erupting from below, sending shockwaves through the calm. The aftermath is often silent, boats left adrift, the riverbank marked by the passage of giants. Each journey across the river is shadowed by the knowledge that beneath the surface, danger may be lurking, unseen and unpredictable. The river's bounty is shared, but never without risk. Hippos, territorial and unpredictable, shape the rhythms of life along these banks. Stories of battered boats and close encounters are etched into the landscape, reminders of the ever-present threat. Here, the question of hippo aggression is not a matter of debate, but a daily reality woven into the environment itself. The lessons of survival are passed on in silence through the patterns of the river and the watchful eyes of its inhabitants. In this world, the hippo is more than an animal. It is a force that commands respect, shaping the lives and landscapes along Africa's rivers. The aftermath of hippo encounters is etched not only in memory but across the very landscape of the river. The scars left behind are visible in the churned earth, the broken reeds, and the deep tracks pressed into the muddy banks. Each mark tells a silent story of conflict and survival, a testament to the ongoing struggle between the natural world and the forces that shape it. After a confrontation, the river's inhabitants react in their own ways. Hippos, shaken but unbowed, return to the water, their presence sending ripples through the ecosystem. Crocodiles glide by at a distance, ever cautious, while fish scatter from the commotion. Even birds, startled by the disturbance, take to the air, their calls echoing over the water. The land itself bears the evidence of these encounters. Trampled grass and flattened reeds mark the paths where hippos have charged or fled. Broken branches and stripped bark reveal the force of their passage. Insects swarm over the newly exposed earth, and small mammals emerge cautiously, sensing the change in their environment. Among the hippos themselves, the aftermath is felt in subtle shifts of behavior. Pods huddle closer, their bodies tense and alert. Territorial displays become more frequent as each animal asserts its place in the hierarchy. The river, once calm, now shivers with the memory of conflict, its surface marked by the restless movements of its largest inhabitants. Scars are not just carried by people, but by the animals themselves. Hippos bear the marks of past battles, deep gouges and healed wounds, reminders of the dangers they face from rivals, predators, and the unpredictable river. Each scar is a chapter in the ongoing story of survival written on their thick hides. Over time, the landscape begins to heal. The riverbank, scarred by conflict, is slowly reclaimed by new growth. Reeds push through the trampled earth, and the water's surface calms as fish and birds return. Yet the memory of the encounter lingers in every footprint, every broken branch, and every wary glance cast across the water. In the end, the river remembers. Its banks are shaped by the passage of hippos and the aftermath of their encounters. Here, the scars of conflict and the resilience of nature are woven together, creating a landscape where every mark tells a story, not just of danger, but of survival, adaptation, and the enduring balance between all who call the river home. The hippopotamus is a marvel of biological power, an animal that can weigh up to 3,000 pounds, with a body built almost entirely of muscle and dense bone. Their massive barrel-shaped torsos are supported by short, sturdy legs, giving them a deceptively slow appearance on land. But don't be fooled, every inch of a hippo is designed for survival in Africa's rivers and lakes. Their skin, up to 2 inches thick in places, acts as a natural armor, protecting them from injury and the harsh African sun. One of the most striking features of the hippo is its enormous mouth, capable of opening a full 180 degrees. Inside you'll find tusks that can grow over a foot long and teeth that are sharper than they look. These tusks aren't used for chewing food, they're formidable weapons evolved for dominance and defense. The jaw muscles are among the strongest in the animal kingdom, allowing the hippo to deliver devastating bites. With a single bite, a hippo can shatter wood, crush bone, or even kill a crocodile. Their jaws generate a bite force of over 1,800 pounds per square inch, making them one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. The arrangement of their teeth and the sheer size of their mouths are evolutionary adaptations for both combat and display. Despite their immense size, hippos are surprisingly agile in water. They move with a grace that belies their bulk, gliding effortlessly beneath the surface. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils are positioned high on their heads, allowing them to see, hear, and breathe while almost completely submerged. This adaptation lets them remain alert to their surroundings while keeping most of their body hidden and cool. Hippos aren't true swimmers. They don't float or paddle like other aquatic animals. Instead, they walk or run along the riverbed, pushing off with powerful legs. This unique adaptation lets them disappear and reappear without warning, vanishing beneath the water's surface in an instant. Their dense bones act as natural ballast, helping them stay submerged and stable underwater. In their watery domain, hippos can move faster than many would expect, reaching speeds of up to 8 miles per hour underwater. On land, they can sprint at surprising speeds for short distances, making them unpredictable and dangerous both in and out of the water. Their muscular legs and compact bodies are built for sudden bursts of power. The placement of the hippo's sensory organs is a remarkable evolutionary trait. With eyes, ears and nostrils all located on top of the head, a hippo can remain almost entirely submerged while still monitoring its environment. Their ears can close to keep water out, and their nostrils automatically seal when they dive. Hippo skin is another marvel of adaptation. It secretes a natural reddish fluid, often called blood sweat, which acts as both a sunscreen and an antibiotic, protecting the animal from sunburn and infection. This secretion is unique among mammals and is vital for their survival in the intense African sun. Although hippos spend most of their time in water, they are herbivores, feeding primarily on grasses. Their wide mouths and strong lips are perfectly adapted for grazing, allowing them to consume up to 80 pounds of vegetation in a single night. Their digestive system is specialized to extract maximum nutrition from tough, fibrous plants. The biology of the hippo, its size, strength, and territorial nature, makes any close encounter perilous even for other hippos. Dominance battles are common, and their thick skin often bears the scars of these confrontations. Their social structure is complex, with dominant individuals controlling access to prime river territories. To truly understand the risks and wonders of Africa's rivers, you must first understand the power, adaptability, and evolutionary brilliance of the hippopotamus, a creature as fascinating as it is formidable. Are hippos born aggressive, or does their world shape them up? Let's look closer at the lives of rescued hippos compared to their wild counterparts. In sanctuaries, rescued hippos live in a peaceful environment, free from the constant threats of predators and territorial disputes. Their days are spent lounging, swimming, and socializing calmly with one another. In the wild, hippos must always be on guard. They compete fiercely for territory and resources, and their behavior is shaped by the ever-present dangers of predators and rival hippos. Wild hippos adapt to a harsh world, constantly alert, quick to defend themselves, and ready to fight for survival. Their aggression is a response to stress and competition. In contrast, rescued hippos show relaxed body language and gentle interactions. Without the pressures of the wild, their true, peaceful nature emerges. The difference is striking. Aggression in hippos is often a reaction to their environment, not an inherent trait. Ultimately, it's the environment that shapes hippo behavior. In safety, they thrive in peace. In the wild, survival demands aggression. To rigorously investigate hippo aggression, Carter and his team design a series of controlled experiments focusing solely on the animal's natural responses. They deploy motion-activated cameras and data loggers along the riverbank, ensuring every movement is recorded without human interference. The first test involves a sensor-equipped dummy in a canoe set adrift across the hippo's domain. The cameras capture the pod's reaction. The hippos remain alert but keep their distance, showing no signs of aggression or attack. Next, a remote-controlled boat laced with animal scent is sent near the pod. The hippos investigate cautiously, displaying classic warning behaviors, yawning, grunting, and mock charges, but never make contact. Nighttime experiments reveal similar patterns. When confronted with unfamiliar objects, the hippos form defensive clusters and gradually retreat, prioritizing safety over confrontation. Even when the so-called rogue hippo is isolated and directly approached by the floating dummy, it remains calm, ignoring the provocation and choosing to submerge rather than attack. Interestingly, the only aggressive response comes from a curious crocodile, which snaps at the experimental device, while the hippos watch from a safe distance. The results are clear. Hippos, even those labeled as dangerous, consistently avoid unnecessary conflict. Their behavior is defensive, not predatory. The myth of the rogue, murderous hippo doesn't hold up under scientific scrutiny. These animals are vigilant and protective, but not inherently aggressive. Carter's experiments challenge the legend, revealing a more nuanced truth. Hippos are complex social creatures whose so-called aggression is rooted in self-preservation, not malice. The real conflict isn't just about hippos and humans, it's about the struggle for space among all creatures of the savanna. As hippos move along ancient grazing routes, they disrupt the routines of other animals, forcing crocodiles to retreat and sending birds into the air. During the dry season, water becomes scarce. Hippos, elephants, and antelope crowd together, each vying for a place at the dwindling pools. Hippos, fiercely territorial, defend their shrinking domains, not just from each other, but from buffalo, antelope, and even elephants. Crocodiles, once dominant in the waterways, are often displaced by the sheer size and aggression of hippos. The ecological impact ripples outward. Hippos stir up silt, clouding the water and affecting fish and birds that rely on clear streams. Other herbivores, wary of hippos' unpredictable moods, risk dehydration as they wait for a safe moment to drink. As habitats shrink, the overlap and the tension between species intensifies, leading to more frequent and sometimes deadly encounters. The tragedy is not malice, but the mounting pressure of survival in a world with less and less room for all. Hippos are often cast as villains in the African wild, but this reputation is built more on fear than fact. In reality, hippos are complex social animals, deeply misunderstood by those who only see their size and power. When hippos react aggressively, it is not out of malice, but out of instinct and stress. They are highly territorial, especially in water, and their displays of aggression are usually warnings to protect their young or their space. Killing a single hippo does not solve the underlying conflict. Another will inevitably fill the void, because the real issue is not the animal, but the shrinking space both hippos and humans must share. Hippos play a vital role in their ecosystem. Their movements carve channels in wetlands, helping to shape waterways and create habitats for fish and other aquatic life. Their dung fertilizes the water, supporting entire food webs. Far from being born killers, hippos are forced into conflict by circumstance, by drought, by habitat loss, and by the pressures of a changing landscape. Their so-called aggression is a desperate response to survival, not a sign of cruelty. The solution lies in coexistence. By understanding hippo behavior, respecting their boundaries, and planning human settlements with care, we can reduce conflict and foster harmony. The hippo story is not one of villainy, but of survival, of a creature adapting to a world that is rapidly closing in around it. To truly reduce tragedy, we must learn to see the world through the hippo's eyes, a world where every day is a struggle to find space, safety, and peace. The river horse is not a monster, but a misunderstood neighbor, an essential part of Africa's wild heart, deserving of respect and understanding. Beneath the surface, hippos communicate in ways invisible to the casual observer. Their world is alive with signals, subtle body movements, low-frequency rumbles, and rippling water. These massive animals are surprisingly vocal, using grunts, wheezes, and bellows to convey everything from warnings to reassurance. Even underwater, hippos talk, sending sound waves that travel through water and alert others to their presence. Within each pod, social hierarchies are strictly maintained. A dominant bull rules the territory, patrolling the water's edge and asserting his authority with dramatic yawns or forceful charges. Females and their young cluster together, forming the core of the group, while subordinate males linger at the margins. These boundaries are enforced not just by aggression, but by ritualized displays, open mouths, splashing, and the famous dung shower that marks territory. Interactions are not always hostile. Hippos engage in gentle nuzzling, synchronized submerging, and mutual grooming, strengthening bonds between mothers and calves or between allies in the pod. Calves often play beside their mothers, learning social cues and the rules of their aquatic community. The river, with its shifting sandbanks and tangled reeds, is both home and stage for this intricate social ballet. Environmental pressures, like drought or encroaching human settlements, can disrupt these fragile dynamics, forcing hippos into closer quarters and amplifying competition. Yet, even in times of stress, the hippo's complex system of signals and hierarchies helps maintain order, minimizing outright conflict where possible. Through these hidden interactions, we glimpse the true nature of hippo society, not chaotic or cruel, but structured, communicative, and deeply connected to the rhythms of their environment. To understand hippos is to listen, not just with our ears, but with patience and respect for the language of the river horse. While hippos are among Africa's most formidable animals, they are not without threats in their untamed world. Adult hippos, with their immense size and powerful jaws, have few natural predators, yet for calves and the vulnerable, danger is never far away. Crocodiles lurking in the muddy waters pose a constant risk to young hippos. A single misstep or moment of separation from the pod can turn fatal. Lions, too, are opportunistic hunters. In times of drought, when hippos venture further from water, prides may coordinate daring attacks, targeting the weak or isolated. The riverbank becomes a stage for survival. When threatened, hippos rely on the strength of the group. Adults form a protective barrier around calves, bellowing and splashing to intimidate would-be attackers. Even the dominant bull, usually content to patrol his territory, springs into action, charging at intruders with a force few predators dare to challenge. But defense is not all about brute strength. Hippos are masters of their aquatic environment. With a single breath they slip beneath the surface, hiding in murky depths where few can follow. Calves ride on their mothers' backs or huddle close, shielded by the bulk of the pod. At night, when hippos graze on land, they remain vigilant. Ears twitch at every sound, nostrils flare, testing the air for danger. The herd moves as one, ever alert to the presence of hyenas or leopards that may lurk on the fringes. In this world of constant risk, survival is a delicate balance, strength, strategy, and an unspoken alliance within the pod. Through every challenge, the hippo's resilience is tested, and their story of survival continues, shaped by the wild forces of their homeland. Hippos are more than just powerful residents of Africa's waterways. They are true architects of their ecosystem. Each night as they graze on land, hippos consume vast amounts of grass, up to 80 pounds in a single evening. When they return to the river, their waste becomes a vital nutrient source, fueling the aquatic food web. This constant cycle of grazing and returning enriches the water, supporting algae, insects and fish that depend on these nutrients. But the influence of hippos goes beyond simple fertilization. Their daily movements carve channels through shallow waters, creating pools that serve as habitats for countless species. Fish find shelter in these deeper pockets, while birds gather along the riverbanks to feed. Even crocodiles benefit, using hippo-made pools as ambush sites or nurseries for their young. Yet hippo's impact is a delicate balance. Too many can lead to over-fertilization, reducing oxygen levels and threatening fish populations. Too few, and the ecosystem loses a vital engineer, causing channels to fill with silt and biodiversity to decline. Through their sheer presence, hippos shape the very flow and character of rivers, connecting land and water in a web of life. Their story is not just one of survival, but of influence, an ancient partnership with the river, sustaining life for countless others. Across Africa, hippos face an uncertain future. Despite their mighty presence, their numbers are in decline. Habitat loss, driven by expanding agriculture and human settlements, is shrinking the rivers and wetlands they call home. Pollution from farms and industry further threatens the delicate balance of these waterways, while droughts, made more frequent by climate change, leave pools dry and grasslands barren. Poaching, too, casts a shadow. Hippos are hunted for their ivory-like teeth and meat, pushing some populations ever closer to the brink. As their habitats fragment and their numbers dwindle, the ripple effects are felt throughout the ecosystem. Without hippos, the very architecture of rivers changes, affecting fish, birds, and countless other creatures that rely on the habitats they create. But hope remains. Conservationists and local communities are working together to protect vital wetlands and river corridors, establishing reserves and promoting coexistence. Efforts to reduce pollution, restore natural water flows, and combat illegal hunting are gaining ground by preserving hippos and their habitats. We safeguard not just a single species, but the health of entire ecosystems. Every hippo saved is a guardian of the river, a living link in the chain of life. Their continued presence ensures that Africa's rivers remain vibrant, nourishing both wildlife and people for generations to come. As daylight fades and the African sun slips beneath the horizon, a transformation unfolds along the riverbanks. Hippos, often seen as lumbering giants of the water, reveal a hidden side to their existence, one that takes place under the cover of darkness. Far from the safety of the river, these nocturnal wanderers embark on nightly journeys, traveling miles across open savanna in search of fresh grasses. Guided by memory and the faint glow of the moon, they follow well-worn paths carved by generations before them. Though their days are spent submerged and serene, nights are a time of purpose and adventure. This nightly grazing shapes the landscape itself. As hippos trim the grasses and fertilize the land with their dung, they create thriving meadows that support a multitude of other animals, from insects to antelope. Their movements weave connections between water and land, enriching both worlds. But dangers lurk in the darkness. Crocodiles, lions, and hyenas patrol the shadows, and the long trek exposes hippos to unexpected threats. Yet, their powerful instincts and formidable presence help them endure. In these secret hours, the hippo's role as an ecosystem engineer becomes even clearer. By night, they are not just river guardians, but silent architects of the savanna, shaping the world in ways few ever witness. The river may be their refuge, but the night belongs to the hippo. While hippos are often silent during the day, the darkness brings a symphony unique to their kind. Beneath the water's surface and across open plains, hippos communicate through a remarkable array of sounds. Some so low and deep they travel through the ground and water, reaching other hippos miles away. These hippo songs are more than just loud bellows or explosive grunts. They include subsonic rumbles, clicks, and even ultrasonic squeaks, each with a purpose. A mother's gentle hum reassures her calf, while a series of grunts establishes territory or signals a warning to rivals lurking nearby. Underwater, their calls are amplified, bouncing off riverbanks and echoing through the night. But communication isn't limited to sound. Hippos use body language too, a flick of the ear, a wide-mouthed yawn, or a subtle nudge in the darkness. These gestures maintain social bonds and prevent conflict, allowing herds to coexist in close quarters. Scientists are only beginning to unravel the complexity of hippo language. Every night, as the world sleeps, these ancient mammals exchange messages, negotiating peace, expressing affection, and guiding each other through the unseen dangers of the wild. In the world of hippos, every sound, every gesture is a vital thread in the fabric of their mysterious society. As the climate shifts and rivers shrink, hippos face challenges never before encountered in their ancient lineage. Once, sprawling wetlands and deep channels provided ample space for these giants to wallow, graze, and raise their young. Now, prolonged droughts and unpredictable weather threaten the very lifeblood of their habitats. Drone footage glides above cracked mudflats and shrinking pools, revealing hippos clustered in tighter groups, forced to share dwindling resources. Tempers flare more often, and competition for space intensifies. Calves must learn to navigate not just the dangers of predators, but also the ever-changing landscape of their home. Yet hippos are not without resilience. Some herds have learned to travel further at night, seeking out hidden waterholes and new grazing grounds. Others adapt by altering their daily routines, spending more time submerged during the hottest hours or feeding in smaller, scattered groups. Ecologists monitor these shifts, piecing together how hippos might adapt to a rapidly changing world. Will they find new ways to thrive, or will their ancient traditions be lost to the tides of change? In the face of uncertainty, the hippo's story becomes a symbol, not just of survival, but of the delicate balance between species and the environments they call home. The river horse, once unconquerable, now stands at a crossroads, its future intertwined with the fate of the rivers themselves. In the heart of Africa's waterways, the social structure of hippos is both complex and fascinating. Unlike many other large mammals, hippos are not solitary creatures. They form groups known as pods, ranging from a few individuals to over 100. These pods are anchored by dominant males, who fiercely guard their territory against rivals. Drone footage captures these massive beasts in their natural habitat, showcasing the delicate balance of power within the pod. The dominant male, often the largest and most aggressive, maintains order through a combination of displays and vocalizations. He asserts his dominance by marking territory with dung and by engaging in dramatic open-mouthed displays. Subordinate males and females navigate this hierarchy carefully, avoiding direct confrontations whenever possible. Calves and juveniles, on the other hand, enjoy a more carefree existence. They are often seen playing in the shallows, mock-fighting and chasing each other around. These playful interactions are not just for fun, they are crucial for developing the skills needed to survive in the wild. Despite their seemingly peaceful coexistence, life within a pod is not without its tensions. Resources such as food and space can become scarce, leading to skirmishes and even violent clashes. Yet the social bonds within a pod are strong, and these conflicts are usually resolved quickly. As we delve deeper into the social dynamics of hippopods, we uncover a world of intricate relationships and unspoken rules. These gentle giants, often misunderstood as mere brutes, reveal themselves to be complex social beings with their own unique way of life. Their story is a testament to the rich yet often overlooked social fabric of the animal kingdom.